Coverage you can count on. You're watching Way 31 Morning News.
This morning, we've learned the number of tornadoes that ripped through Middle Tennessee is now at 4. The National Weather Service confirms 2 EF0 tornadoes also formed in Putnam County. Those 2 are in addition to the EF4 in Putnam County and the EF3 in Davidson, Wilson, and Smith counties. President Trump is expected to visit Putnam County later this morning to see the devastation firsthand. Thank you for joining us. It is Friday, March 6th. I'm Marie Waxel.
And I'm Pat Simon in Putnam County, Tennessee, one of the hardest areas. It was really slammed by those storms early this week. As recovery operations continue this morning, we'll continue our team coverage as we await the president. But first, let's check in again with Way 31 meteorologist Rob Elvington in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Rob, the winds tend to calm down just a little bit here. It's still a chilly start here to Middle Tennessee, folks, morning. How about down there?
Yeah, you know, we're starting to see those winds picking up, but it's really going to be closer to about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning, where we're really going to start to see those winds jumping, where you see some of those stronger winds. It usually takes about 2 hours for the sun to come up and then to start to get some of those stronger winds down to the ground. And Huntsville right now, not terrible, 44 degrees. That's about where we should be for this time of the year. But that west-northwest wind at 8 miles per hour, it makes it feel more like 40, but that's with a fairly light wind, less than 10 miles per hour. If that jumps up to 20 miles per hour, you're going to see those wind chills down into the mid to low 30s for some areas. And right around the mid-40s all the way through 9 o'clock. Sunny skies for just about everyone. Tracking still a little bit of fog lingering in places like Fort Payne, but that's about it. And heading into this weekend, look at that. Sunny skies for your Friday and into your Saturday. And then we're seeing those temperatures starting to climb back up into the 60s on Sunday. So we have dry conditions, but those that will change very quickly as we head to next week as that next weather maker moves in, bringing some widespread rain. But coming up in the next 10 minutes, we'll look at that hourly wind forecast. We'll take a look at some more of the wind chills throughout North Alabama, also tracking some of that fog that we're still seeing in Fort Payne. Again, all in the next 10 minutes.
Rob, thank you so much. Our team coverage continues as we await the president's visit to Tennessee this week in the aftermath of the deadly storms from earlier this week. And I will tell you, you look around here in Cookeville, Tennessee, on a morning like this Friday morning where you typically see kids getting ready to head to the bus stop, people getting ready to head out. You're looking around here, nothing. In fact, nothing behind me. This one home, demolished, pummeled. There's other homes here that have been destroyed. That's what awaits the president when he hits the ground here later on this morning in areas like this in Middle Tennessee. In fact, here in Cookeville, hundreds of homes were damaged, as I was just mentioning. They've been destroyed. We're talking about 100 homes that were destroyed, about 400 damaged here. But I will tell you, people stepping up this morning. They've been stepping up, in fact, all this week with chainsaws in hand, clearing debris. Now it's time for the president to see the massive damage firsthand. He's expected to meet with a number of leaders over here. They're assessing the situation. They'll have an assessment report in the latest as 2 crews that are survey crews that were out here in Putnam County will be out here again. And more than likely, that will be a part of the assessment that the president will see. I will tell you this, that there is a curfew in place here from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. to make sure that people around this area, their belongings are secure, to make sure that there is no looting that takes place around here, and also to just really protect people because there are so many roads that continue to be closed around here because, seriously, you just can't get to some of these areas. There's just so much debris. There's so much devastation. That's part of what the president will see. Our team coverage continues right now. Way 31 Sophia Borelli joins me about an hour west of us, just outside of Nashville in Donaldson. Sophia, as you're getting going this morning, so are the people out there, more volunteers, more of those first responders and those that are handling the operations, the recovery operations out there, right?
Yep, Pat, the sun is up, and I've already seen crews and volunteers out here getting back to work. And we have to remember that these are real people who lost everything in this area. I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see that reminder of what has happened to this area. Right behind me there, if you can see, that is Donaldson Christian Academy. The winds of that EF3 tornado just so strong. Remember, people lost lives. They lost their homes. They've lost all sense of normalcy. When I talked to people in this neighborhood, they said they didn't even really recognize it when they came back. I did speak with a tornado survivor. I talked with Pam Carter, and she told me she didn't think she would make it out alive as she took shelter in her basement. Volunteers are now picking up some of her belongings and the belongings of people here in the area. Carter became very emotional as she described what happened.
I think my husband is planning on rebuilding our house, but I am telling y'all, I thought I was going to die. My husband is the one that saved all of us.
I've been out here in Middle Tennessee for the past 3 days and just seeing the spirit of the volunteers and the community coming together. It really does put that bright spot in something that has been so dark and so destructive and has changed so many lives. Now, if you're sitting at home in North Alabama and you want to help, you're more than welcome. They are expecting and hoping that volunteers will come to the area. When I spoke with Nashville officials yesterday, they did tell me that they would like people who want to come volunteer to come with an already organized organization or a group. Live in Donaldson, Sophia Borelli, Way 31 News.
Sophia, thank you so much. Back here in Putnam County, when you talk about kindness and generosity, it's in abundance here. In fact, churches in the area have been pitching in, doing whatever they can do to help in the relief efforts. I want to show you some video right now. This is one church out of many churches here in the Putnam County area, just a walking distance away from this damage here in Cookeville. They have already served, get this, 3,000 meals in just 3 days. One elder at the Double Springs Church of Christ says they have supplies for anyone who needs them, and he knows that more will come.
Tennessee saying they're the volunteer state, that's not a slogan. It's reality, and I know Alabama's that way. Northern Alabama's where my in-laws live, and people are that way there too.
Now, we understand that the church doors are open 24 hours, not just for the victims, but those all-important first responders as well, to give them a good hot-cooked meal on a cold morning like this. It means the world to them. And in fact, a 20-member team, I might add, from Madison County in Alabama. It's called Prepare and Respond Team. They're going to be heading north up here this morning. Another team will be joining them tomorrow, and they're going to take some heavy equipment like the chainsaws, the tarps that are needed here, nail guns, generators, air compressors. They're going to be out here working in force. They told us that they plan to leave this morning at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a welcome sight up here in Putnam County. A Decatur church group, by the way, is also leading a helping hand. Volunteers from the crisis response team at the Decatur Church of Christ have already made their first trip here to Tennessee to help out. They're helping those affected in Mount Juliet, which is just west of us, aiding with the cleanup and providing some supplies to people in need there. And they say they're going to stay as long as they are needed. This group says it's accepting financial donations in the meantime. They can be dropped off at the Decatur or the Priceville Church of Christ locations. Now, right now, multiple new donations are helping in the relief efforts in Davidson County. That's in Nashville proper. We know a Metro Strong task force was created for recovery there, and that includes multiple agencies. The Tennessee Titans, get this, the NFL football team Titans donating $1 million for cleanup efforts. Also, the NFL is donating $250,000. It's all part of giving back. So these are some of the images that the president will see, the volunteer work, but also what you see behind me, the devastation when the president appears here in some of these areas and takes a look firsthand when he arrives in Nashville later on this morning. We'll continue to bring you live team coverage. Back to you, Marie.
Of course, as you just heard Pat mention that he will be right there for the president's arrival, and you heard him talking about how you can help. Well, we have links for you that will connect you directly to those organizations that are already on the ground. You can also read those stories of incredible survival and what's happening now on their road to recovery. You can find everything at your fingertips on waytv.com right under the news tab. It is 6:40 on your Friday morning. As you could hear from Pat out there in the field, the wind really making a factor all across North Alabama, too.
Strongest winds are still about 2 hours away. Sunny skies, finally getting to see the sunrise for once this week. 44 degrees in Decatur. With that wind out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour, it feels like 40, but we'll see some gusts up closer to 30, 35 miles per hour by the late morning hours and into this afternoon. And because of those winds this morning, it's going to feel like the 30s all the way through about 9 o'clock, and then we'll make it up to about 50 by this afternoon. And then you'll notice there's, look at the wind gusts. Not too bad all the way through about 7 a.m. And then once you hit about 8, 9 a.m., look at that. Winds around 30 to 35 miles per hour. Then the winds start to drop off closer to sunset into this evening. So if you have some evening plans, not too bad. And as we head through this weekend, dry. Take advantage of it because we have more rain moving back in by next week. You'll notice the rain quickly approaching by 8 o'clock on Monday evening.
All right, thank you, Rob. Coronavirus in 3 states surrounding Alabama. How health officials are now working to prevent the virus from spreading.